All right, it's Fragile. It's time for an eBay unboxing. All right, so I tried this software that I got. It's a special software that if I put a photo of one of my antiques in or a certain kind of antique that I like, it actually searches the whole entire internet for like items. And I'm able to find sleepers better that way. I'm not going to share it with anybody. I know you think that's a selfish thing, but hell no. I don't need any more competition. And so I found it with this software. So I don't know how good it's going to be, but the seller's pictures were sort of crappy because you're going to be finding sleepers that way. So when you find sleepers that way, usually the seller doesn't know much about it, takes shitty photographs, and you get the item and it's either a bummer or it's like really good. So we'll see. This is the first time I'm using that software. And again, nope, I will not share it with you. Beg me all you want. Like I said, I don't like competition. And because I don't have like deep pocketbooks, I can't afford what a lot of people can afford. So I have to like look for bargains or sleepers or things, that people don't know what the item is. Because otherwise I can never collect. I would never be able to collect any of the items I collect. There's people that can afford $200, $300, $400 an item. I can't. And oh, this is actually bigger than I thought it's going to be. It has wear on it from the seller's pictures. It did have wear, but it didn't bother me too much. It really didn't bother me because it's old. Old things show wear, fading, and what have you. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is actually much bigger than I expected. And you're like, what the hell is it? Okay. So, hold on. Let me just move all the stuff out of the way. Let's lower the boom. There we go. So we can get a better view of what I got here. I'm going to just study it first. And look how white this is. Now, a lot of people would think this was porcelain. This is not porcelain. This is a French style glass called opaline. And I used to call it opaline. And some asshole went in the comments and started correcting me and saying, you shouldn't be making these videos at all. You're definitely pronouncing opaline wrong, opaline wrong. And someone should be pronouncing it correctly if they're an expert. I'm not an expert. I always tell you in my videos, I'm not an expert. So fuck you, whoever wrote that comment. So it's opaline. Actually, opaline, whatever. I don't even know now. Which one is it? God damn it. I don't know. That guy like really irked me. Some people are assholes. They can't control themselves. They have to, the keyboard warriors. Oh, let's correct her. She's incorrect. So it's, what is it again? Now this guy fucked me up in the head. Now I can't, every time I go to say what kind of glass this is, now I think of that guy. Oh my God, opaline. Yeah, it's like Ovaltine. It's opaline glass. And so immediately you're going to be like, oh, it's porcelain. No, 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 no. Okay, so this has wear to it. It's to be expected. It's gold gilding. Oh, she taped it. Oh, fanabula. I hate when they tape glass because what happens is it rips the paint off. Oh my God, you stupid. Stupid woman. Hold on. Now I got to try to get this off. This happened to me once before with antique leather. An antique leather jewelry box. Somebody had taped shut. And when I got it, I had to pull the tape off gently. And I should have steamed it off. I just didn't know that this would happen. And the paint came right off. And the leather, a whole layer of the leather came off in the tape. Why do people, please, sellers, don't do this. This is real asinine. And, okay. Oh, my God. This is, all right, let's lift up the camera stand. Hold on. Oh, shit, I'm doing it wrong. Of course I'm doing it wrong. And again, opaline, right? Opaline. Oh my God, this fucking guy, that wrote that comment. Oh my God, he really got in my head. I'm going to Google it. How do you pronounce this shit? Okay, we're going to listen to the pronunciation. So I don't get it wrong so some prick doesn't come in the comments and have to show how superior they are to me. All right, hold on. You ready?
Opaline. Opaline.
Wait,
Opaline.
what did you say?
Opaline.
Like Ovaltine. Okay. It's opaline glass. It's French. No, they made opaline glass in other countries. But it's not true opaline unless it came from France. And why? Well, Italy did it too. I don't know why, but I read somewhere that only the true opaline glass is from France. And this is definitely French And let's take a look. Now, this is a casket box. And I know that sounds really morbid, but they call these casket boxes. Look at the feet on this. This is really amazing. It's very, very, very tarnished. It has patina. Does not bother me at all because it shows the age. And you see that? Look at that. That is beautiful. It's a footed box or casket box. Let's check out the hinge. And we're going to try to figure out an age. That is really fancy. Now, Bohemia, known as what we know today as the Czech Republic, but they called it Bohemia at one time, would make beautiful glass work also. And a lot of these casket boxes were made in Bohemia with the feet. Also in France as well, of course. We have companies such as Baccarat would make these gorgeous, gorgeous boxes, but mostly Bohemian makers would make them with feet on them. But this is unmistakably French. Or it could be Harac, and I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. And so some prick is going to come in the comments below and tell me. Harrach. It sounds like Barack Obama. Harac. Barack Obama. Don't mind me, I'm an asshole. All right, so this sort of looks like an ice cream sandwich or a flying saucer. Let's get in there close. And so we have this really, I'm looking with the light going over it. Yes, this is hand painted. You can see the brush strokes. And so we have like a classical or what they call neoclassical lady portrait. And portrait boxes are really highly collected. Miniature portrait boxes. A lot of people who collect porcelain and glass look for miniature portraits. Now this is almost like a cameo style lady, right? Neoclassical, very Greek, very Romanesque. She's got a crown on her head with a snood. Okay, so that is a clue. You see the little snood in her bun, which is a net. Generally, you can tell like from mini portraits, even if they're done in the classical Roman type of style or Greek style or neoclassical style, you could tell generally by the hairstyles around the time something was made. So I'm going to date this to the 1860s when they wore snoods in their hair or little nets. That is quite interesting. Look at the earrings. And of course, it's very Victorian drop earrings. And this is what's known also as a Napoleon III era. So Napoleon III was, I believe, the nephew of like the Napoleon. And he was in reign from, I believe, the 1850s to the 1870s. So this is of the Napoleon III era. Let's open this. And, oh, this has a nice little fancy, look at this, fancy little button. And you want to be careful when you try to open these things because you could break them. Aha, here we go. And generally these were trinket boxes, jewelry boxes, jewel caskets. Sometimes they even held sugar and very, very, very valuable items under lock and key. But this is most likely a powder box. A very fancy lady's powder box, quite large. You would have probably a swan's down feather in here with ivory or some kind of bone handle. And it would be like a really fancy feather type of puff. And powder would have been in here. And she would just like, pour the powder on her. And this looks like a powder box. It's actually quite gorgeous. Now, makers. It's unmistakably French. Unmistakably French. But who made it? Who could have made it? So like that prick of a guy who made the comment, you shouldn't be making these videos if you don't know what you're talking about. People like that come along quite a bit on my videos. I do delete the comments. Fuck them. I'm not an expert, so I'm going to tell you again, I am not an expert. I am just speculating. I am guessing. I am assuming. Yes, and I'm sometimes making an ass out of you and me. No, an ass out of me. And so if you want to come on my channel and you want to tell me that I'm wrong, go fuck yourself, because I'll delete your comment. I'm a little bit of an asshole. But who do I think made this? Let's take a look at this portrait. It looks very, 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 very Baccarat style. Baccarat. And Baccarat actually made a lot of crystal, but they were known to also make opaline. Opaline glass in different colors. It wasn't just white. It was a really pretty, very pastel pink and very pastel blue, and besides white. And some of their pieces around the 1850s and the 1840s, 1850s, 1860s would have neoclassical portraits on them. So let's check it out. Could this be made by Baccarat? It could. I could be wrong, but let's check. Oh, and what did I pay for this? With my software. this, the person sold this to me for $25. And that's why that software is paying off, because I'm going to be finding much more rare or these are very expensive if you want to pay full price and the seller knows what it is. Yeah, that's going to help me find more rare sleepers for cheaper. Okay, not quite, but similar in the fact that we got opaline glass, and they're pink, by the way. Sold for $5.50 for a pair of vases, and this is Baccarat pink opaline glass. Let's check it out. Now, a lot of times, like the whites of it, the bottom part of it would be white. Don't know if you could see that here. And the insides would be white opaline glass. But the outside would have a pinkish color with hand painting on it with gold gilding. And a lot of times this gold gilding would wear off, like, for example, my box. And they would have these little pictures on it, portraits. It was angels. It was neoclassical. And here's the design of this particular pair that sold for $5.50. Now here we go. Antique Baccarat Opaline. Opaline. Did I say it right? Oh my God, that guy, he really got in my fucking head. Classical covered bonbonniere. What the hell is a bonbonniere? Oh, did I pronounce that incorrect? You pricks. If I did, fuck ya. I don't care. I'm no expert in French or anything, pretty much. And so here we go. We have this neoclassical design. Look at this. $1,499. $1,500 for a small little bonbonniere. Bonbonniere, it's a candy dish. And so we got this neoclassical Roman style design on it. Let's blow it up if we can. Can we blow it up? No, of course not. These bastards. Here we go. Oh, and here's the inside. It's like white glass. You got that. You see that? The portrait. Let's hold up our portrait. And look, she's got a net in the hair. Aha. And a crown or a coronet, drop earrings. Let's check that out. Okay, so I'm guessing that this could be Baccarat opaline glass. Now, do you see why this $25 purchase has made me very happy? Now, here we go again. With a French opaline glass, it's bronze mounted. Now, not all of them were done in bronze. Some of them had brass pieces like mine. And this is a centerpiece, and it's attributed to Baccarat. $7,500. Let's check out the portrait. And wow, oh my God, this looks a hell of a lot like my portrait. Actually, let's find a picture here with the portrait, much more easy to see. Okay, let's go ahead. Now this is, look at this, and we have gold gilding or gild work going on the sides, and let's pull this up. So I think we got Baccarat, people. Oh my God, this is great. Now this has nothing to do with mine, but this is just a opaline French Empire style jar with gold gilded detail, and we got the Napoleonic eagle over here. Don't know if you can see that, but it's white. I just wanted to show you the color of white opaline glass, so you could see like mine with gilding. And for example, a small little jar, $950. And this was probably made during the reign of Napoleon III, around the same time as my piece. Now I found another glass centerpiece, opaline glass centerpiece. This is more like a clam broth color. I told you they came in all different colors. $4,950. Now this is big. This is 11 and a half by 21 by 10 inches. So, I mean, of course, you're going to get something that, you know what I mean? The price is going to be that high. Mine's a small little box. I mean, if you think about it. Look at the portrait. And again, we have that neoclassical style portrait. All right, and attributed to Baccarat. Interesting. Now, this is the type of box that somebody would have went on what's known as the Grand Tour, a tour of Europe, and brought this back as a souvenir, or a Grand Tour souvenir. Let me just get the shadows out of the way so you can see this. And so this would be like a Grand Tour souvenir. Somebody would take a tour of Europe and bring something like this back. as a souvenir of their trip or tour of Europe. Usually these were sold around the area of Palais Royal, which was the French royal palace. And there would be little shops or souvenir shops around there. And a lot of people would bring back really neat stuff. So this is also known as a Palais Royal or Grand Tour box. So this is actually, these are very, very, very highly collectible. And actually, I'm trying to show this to you in better lighting. The beautiful opaline glass. Now, opaline glass is very opaque. That's why a lot of people get it confused with porcelain and think these pieces are porcelain because you can't really see through it. I mean, if you hold it up to a really strong light, you would be able to, but it's very, very opaque. Now, let's study the feet, the little brass feet. And they're very wiry. You can see that, very fancy, very wiry. And a lot of the Palais Royal type of collectibles that you'll find have little boxes and little things like that with these really fancy feet. And they would be attached to a footed base. I'm going to show you some Palais Royal glass and porcelain pieces with these feet and these Grand Tour souvenirs. All right, so a lot of these Grand Tour souvenirs, again, would have these feet. Right here, you see these brass feet? And again, we have antique French Palais blue, and it came in all different colors. Blue opaline glass mounted trinket box, $420. They made perfume bottles as well. We have this with the brass work going around the beautiful green opaline or apple green opaline. Here we go. And then you have egg boxes made out of opaline glass with this brass work going all around it. Some of them were really outrageous. Here's another one, a Palais Royal blue opaline glass box with the feet, like mine. How much is that one selling for? Unfortunately, it's sold out, so we don't get a price. But we see the other one being sold for, what was it, $420? So right around that price range. Let's check out more of these pieces. And again, you see the brass work on these? And this is an egg made out of white opaline glass. And you can see the prices are not cheap. This was teeny tiny, by the way. This would fit in the palm of your hand. That's how tiny it was. So the bigger, of course, the better. And let's keep looking. So here we go. More opaline glass or Grand Tour. My mouse is not working. There we go. More pieces. More pieces. We have an egg box in pink. And pink is not very common. So, of course, this would probably command more prices. This one sold. There's no price. And you can see, again, that brass work with the glass. And it's a box. Really cool. And very fancy, some of these. Here we got a white opaline egg box with all this brass work. It's quite lovely. Is it for sale? Can we see a price? Okay, $795. And these were never big. There's no dimensions on here. Let's see if there's a description. But these were never big. These were actually teeny tiny little things that would go on your tabletop or vanity. And mine is actually quite large. Not as fancy or beautiful as this, but quite large. And again, look at the gorgeousness of these pieces. Look at this opaline box. This is the side view of one with little handles. Really quite lovely. Perfume bottles. They had lots of things. Look at this box. Oh my God, that's a lock box with medallions with architectural photos of Europe going throughout the panels. I have perfume bottles like these that are opaline from the same time as well in my collection. I always look for these pieces. Some of them were even made out of porcelain. And this looks like porcelain, but it's opaline glass, white opaline. We got the egg boxes. They're very popular. Anything with an egg shape is very popular. And here's some more pieces. And you can see quite lovely, lovely opaline glass. And again, here's another Palais Royal egg box in white opaline glass. How much is something like this? And this is very small. And this is $380. It's only 3 inches and 3/4 by 3 1/8 by 3 1/4. So you can only imagine this is a teeny tiny little box. So you can see the size of this. This is actually quite large for the pieces that we were looking at. They're usually only 3, 3 1/2, 3 3/4 inches. This one is quite large. You can see by my hand. What would I sell something like this if I had an Etsy shop? And it would sit around for a little while, but I've sold pieces like this before in the 400 to 575 to $600 price range. And it sold. It took a year. It took maybe 2 years, but the pieces always would sell. Actually, to people with addresses in Beverly Hills, but they would sell. And this is a great, great score for $25. I'm thinking it could be Baccarat. Could be Baccarat opaline glass, but if it's not, it's some French maker of some sort. We got the neoclassical Roman lady on the top, hand-painted portrait, French. This does not bother me at all. The fact that the gilding has worn off. This is from around the 1860s. It shouldn't bother you because you're going to see some wear and patination, especially of the metals. And this is really something else. $25. I did it again. Thanks for watching. See you guys all soon, and so long.